Hey everybody, this is Matthew Bass, and many of you know me from the Facebook fire protection groups and also from LinkedIn. And one of the questions I probably get asked the most, besides NICET questions and experience questions, but it's usually about the CFPS from NFPA, the Certified Fire Protection Specialist certification. And probably the number one question I get asked is it worth it? So I wanted to do a quick video. Hopefully I can help you, guide you in the right direction, decide if you want to do it or not. Because again, the number one question I get asked is the CFPS worth it? And it really comes down to you as an individual and what you're looking for. For me personally, just to give you a back history of my story of why I went after it, is I had a person in one of my companies I worked for that had it. I saw it after his email. I inquired about it because it seemed like it was pretty cool, like a CFPS after your name, like a doctor or PhD. And when he told me what it was, and there was through NFPA, I was looking for the next challenge, and I was looking for, I'd done as much as I could through NICET and other certifications. So I personally was looking for the next challenge that could move me up into, our industry. And so when I asked my boss about it, he said, "Oh, heck yeah, if you can go after that," he said, "it's one of the hardest fire protection exams out there, but it is very rewarding if you do get it because there's not very many out there who have it." And in this particular company, I would have only been the second person to have had it at the time. And that right there alone is what sparked me to go after it. I know most people are looking for the money question, but really to me it was the challenge to push myself to get the next level beyond what I've done with NICET. And this one seemed like it was the next level. And I can tell you, it was by far the hardest fire protection exam I've ever taken. It was 100 questions in 3 hours, and I used every second to pass that exam on the first try. And I didn't even think I passed. I actually ended up walking out of the testing center totally defeated. I knew I did well, but I didn't think I did that well. And the proctor was not sitting at the table at the time, so I started walking out. I thought for sure there's no way I passed that. And sure enough, she started yelling at me, telling me to come back. She said, Mr. Bass, you passed." I'm sure if it was a 70 requirement, that was like 69.5, and they rounded up for me. But the question is always asked, is it worth it? And to me, it was, because I didn't get any money right away. But I can tell you, I did get some instant gratification. I got some mad kudos from a lot of industry people for going after it, especially because I did it on my own. I inquired the information, I went after it, I went to the NFPA website, did all the research myself, using that word we like to use, initiative, and I went after it. I actually paid for the exam myself, I paid for my prep class myself, and I paid for the books myself. And to me, that made it more personable for me to want to go after it and really attack it, is because I think most of us have mothers and fathers who've told us that if you buy it yourself, you'll take better care of it. And that was, to me, was what I wanted to do. I wanted the next challenge for myself. So I paid for the books at the time, the handbook, and by, they each one, there's 2 volumes, and they both weigh about 20 pounds each. But, the money did come after, but right after passing the exam, I got the immediate, gratification from a lot of industry people, which really makes you feel good to know that you're going to the next level. And, and many people, ask like, well, again, why'd you go after it? And I said, well, if you look around at the industry, if you're trying to be the top of our fire protection business, most of the leaders that we have that built our industry, look after the name. Almost every one of them either has FPE for fire protection engineer, or they have CFPS. And, I myself was challenging myself personally that I would like to be at that level of like people like that built our industry. And I figured, well, if they've got it, I better have it as well. And again, that's why, people sometimes have to have that internal drive and that internal push to want to go do it, and not because there was going to be any monetary impact right afterwards. That did come, but it wasn't right afterwards. And I can tell you, having the CFPS has definitely helped me for like job applications, because I can pretty much tell you it wasn't the only factor, but I'm pretty much sure that part of that helped me get at least an interview, at least have my resume on the pile to talk to that person. Now, it wasn't probably the only factor. I mean, obviously I have my NICET. I did go back and get a business degree, but I also have 25 years of hands-on experience, install, service, and inspection. So the CFPS was just one part of that, on the resume, but I'm sure it does help, because I'm hoping people will see that. Some people will obviously recognize what it is, and they'll understand how hard it was to, get that certification, because it was a very difficult exam. Most companies that do like regular ITM are probably not going to really recognize the CFPS that much for you, just because it's really not required. And most of our ITM businesses, most of it we're going to require, like your state licenses are going to require an ISO level 2. Some of your government contracts may require an ISO level 3. So the CFPS really won't help you for ITM. Again, if you want to do it for your personal reasons, that's why I did it, is to have a challenge. Where it does help you is if eventually, if you're in your career, if you start to get into like the consulting side, the CFPS is going to be where you'll probably see your money start to hit you. And that's where I'm at currently. That my current employer, when they put the job description out, they wanted either an FPE, a CFPS, or multiple NICET, certifications being held. And so because of that CFPS and obviously my experience and other things I have, that really did help me get to, where I'm at right now. So again, I wanted to make this quick video, and if anybody ever has any questions, a lot of you know how to reach me. A lot of you have asked me, and I've tried to provide you the same information, but I kind of wanted to put it out again just to kind of give it more of an open feel for why people like myself go after it. Because if you have that drive internally and you've gotten most of your NICET and you have some experience, and the good thing for most of us is that to go for the CFPS, there's 3 requirements. One of them that will get most of us into it to take the exam is you need at least 6 years of sprinkler, fire background experience to take the exam. So most of us, if you have that 6 years, that should get you the requirements to, at least sit for the exam. It was a very difficult exam, and again, the next question usually most people ask me is, what makes it so difficult? And what makes it so difficult is that most of us in our side come from the ITM side or service, and we have that background with NICET, with NFPA 25, NFPA 72. But remember that NFPA handbooks cover all aspects of fire protection. So you've got egress, you have fire apparatus, you have storage, you have construction, and that right there is what makes the exam difficult. Not because the questions are difficult, but because you have a timed exam, you have to read a question on a topic that you probably don't know very well, maybe you've never even seen or actually put your hands on, and then you have to go find, using the index, to try to find the answer as quickly as you possibly can. That's what makes it difficult. So, even studying for it is a lot more intensive than a regular NICET exam, because you also have to read questions on items that you probably just haven't seen very often. So, again, if you're looking to go after the CFPS, the Certified Fire Protection Specialist certification through NFPA, I highly recommend it. If you have that drive to want to push yourself to the next level and get to the top echelon of our industry, I would say go for it. If you have any questions, as most of you know, you can reach out to me pretty much any time. I'm always there to help everybody in our business and our industry, because obviously we need to try to show people that there's positive leaders out there to help push us in the right direction. So again, if you need anything, my name is Matthew Bass. Have a great, wonderful day. Bye.